When they came and got me, they said, "Is there medical personnel?" And I said, "Well, I'm a nurse." His face was purple, and I thought, oh dear God, he's dead.
On July 7, 2021, Jeff Ratanapool woke up early and headed to the gym. For Jeff, Wednesday mornings meant basketball with friends. However, the usual routine quickly took a turn. After playing a game, Jeff fell to the ground unconscious. His friends called for help. Hillary Deskins, a retired nurse, was working out nearby when she heard the call.
He had no pulse and he had no breaths, and I knew he was clinically dead. I started trying to do chest compressions, and he was so large and so bulky, and I could not compress his chest. I could not push down as hard as I should have been able to.
Soon Hillary was helped by one of Jeff's friends as another called 911.
And I showed him right where to put his hands and how to interlace his fingers and use the heel, and I said, just push down as hard as you can. And I remember saying, try to break a rib. And he said, break a rib? I said, he's dead anyway.
The compressions were unsuccessful. Someone brought Hillary a defibrillator.
I just hit the button. And then he started making these, what we call agonal. All of a sudden he was breathing.
Hillary asked everyone to pray as Jeff remained unconscious.
And it was that. It was, oh God, please. Oh God, please. I don't even know what I'm asking for, but please, God, please.
Jeff's friends continued to pray as EMS arrived on the scene. He was taken by ambulance to Baptist Hospital in Louisville, where cardiologist Greg Merriweather confirmed Jeff had suffered a widowmaker heart attack. Studies show widowmakers are fatal nearly 9 out of 10 times outside of a hospital environment.
Typically, the widowmaker, when you refer to that, is what's called a proximal left anterior descending, or LAD, blockage. And that's in the front part of the artery. And because it supplies so much muscle of the heart, it can be a bad thing to have. Time is brain function, and if you don't get high quality CPR pretty quickly after a cardiac arrest, or get resuscitated pretty quickly after a cardiac arrest, with each minute that passes, your chance of survival and your chance of surviving with intact brain function goes down enormously.
Jeff's wife Vicki was quickly notified. Their pastor Stephen Frazier remembers that morning.
Vicki was really upset, really hysterical. As soon as I heard it, and I heard her voice, because my wife had it on speakerphone, just faith just rose up on the inside of me. And I just said, Jeff's not going anywhere.
Pastor Stephen drove to the hospital, praying the entire way, not with fear, rather with hope.
And I was declaring things like that, declaring the promises of God, and then just found myself just praying in the Spirit and really singing in the Spirit and just rejoicing. And I was just thanking God for him and just, praising God all the way to the hospital.
Upon arrival, Pastor Stephen found that his prayers had been answered. Jeff was conscious and alert.
It was like nothing had happened to him. He was just sitting in the bed, completely normal, and just being his jolly self, really just kidding around and acting like his biggest concern was if he made the last shot of his basketball,
My first thought was I looked over, I saw my wife, I saw my pastor, I saw the nurse, and the doctor walked in, and I remember in my head I was thinking, oh, this isn't good. I didn't react like, oh my gosh, I had a heart attack. I remember thinking to myself, man, I feel pretty good for after having a heart attack.
If this had happened almost anywhere else, I think he would have died. His chances of being alive, and being alive with his full brain capacity and mental faculties, would be very, very low. So I think it's a miracle, and definitely a miracle in that sense.
Without a doubt, he shouldn't be here. He was dead. It had nothing to do really with anything we did. God saw fit to bring him back, and it was 100% God, 100%.
Yeah, it was just totally a miracle.
Jeff made a full recovery and is even back to playing basketball Wednesday mornings at the church. He and Vicki are thankful he's been given more time and gives all the credit to God for saving his life.
The time I've spent reflecting on it, it's just brought me closer to God. You know, when people gather in Jesus' name, he's there. And so seeing the power of that prayer, of people coming together, going and lifting me up in front of Jesus and God and saying, you know, please take care of our brother, it means the world to me. But from that day, you know, after he has performed that miracle for me, that I go forward in life now, sometimes, you know, when trials and tribulations hit, I jokingly say to him, I can't wait to see how you're gonna take care of this one, Lord. And he'll always be there for me.